If you've ever watched an anime, you'll know the name Funimation. They're a massive player in the anime space. Or rather, they were a massive player in the anime space. Years ago, Funimation merged with its former rival in the anime streaming space, Crunchyroll. For the last couple of years, the transition has been slow. They've stopped adding new anime to Funimation's streaming service a while back, and have been moving over the entire catalog, more or less, to Crunchyroll. And now, the time has come for Funimation's streaming service to shut down. The shutdown of Funimation's website has one big flaw though. Anyone who has a digital copy of a show on Funimation's site will no longer be able to access it after the shutdown, which has a lot of people up in arms. But it turns out that the people upset about this most likely just have no idea what they're talking about. You see, the entire argument is being framed as a situation where people purchased a digital series on Funimation, and that Crunchyroll is just getting rid of that, which, to be fair, would be really bad. The situation amounts to basically theft, though not literally theft since you most likely signed your life away in the terms of service, but having someone buy a digital good only to remove that from them through no fault of their own is terrible, and unfortunately getting more and more common every year. It's a risk that you take with buying digital goods though, which is why it's always best to buy physical media. The industries are always trying to move towards a norm where no one owns anything and they can charge licensing fees forever to produce an infinite amount of money. But I want to be clear, that is not what's happening here. Funimation never allowed people to purchase digital series on their site. The digital copies that people are talking about are not something that people bought on Funimation. They are not an entirely digital good. Funimation's digital copies were an extra that came with certain DVD and Blu-ray discs for animes. That's right, you had to own the anime on a disc before you could get the digital copy, which is why it's called a digital copy. You already have the original on a piece of physical media. This feature was just an added extra you got with the DVD, which let you redeem a code on Funimation's website so that you could watch the anime, which you already own on a disc, from their website instead. Basically, it was just a way to watch an anime you already own on DVD or Blu-ray without having to use the DVD or Blu-ray. Don't take that from me alone. IGN described it like this: Funimation is primarily a streaming website that doesn't allow users to purchase individual anime series. Digital copies were a promotion made available through the purchasing of physical DVD or Blu-ray discs, meaning a digital copy on Funimation was only available to those who already owned that anime on disc. Users could not purchase digital versions of anime directly from Funimation the same way Prime Video, for example, offers both streaming and digital purchases as separate products. I think this is important to point out because a lot of big content creators are portraying this as something that it's not. No one is losing access to the anime they paid for. They're just losing the convenience of being able to watch it via streaming. So they're going to actually have to use their DVDs and Blu-rays now, which yeah, is still annoying, but it's honestly nowhere near as bad as people are making it out to be. I've seen a lot of videos talking about how this is evil because people paid for this content and now they can't get it anymore, but they can still get the content. They had to buy a physical copy of the show in order to use the digital copy service, as I understand it. And that IGN article confirmed they never allowed people to make digital purchases only. So this isn't really a case of Funimation and Crunchyroll taking away something someone has already purchased, just them taking away a nice feature of that thing that they bought. Like I said, it would still be very annoying, especially if you lost the disc in the time since you redeemed the code, but you never actually purchased a digital copy. You just purchased a physical copy with an extra feature. If you lost the physical copy, then yeah, you're losing out and getting the bad end of this deal, but honestly, you probably just shouldn't have lost the actual physical copy. That's on you, fam. The reason I'm being so adamant about this is because I think a lot of the argument and conversation online has been exclusively focusing on this aspect, when the common explanation of this aspect is just completely not understanding what actually happened, which is a massive shame because it's completely overshadowing the other part of the argument, which is the price increase. There's potentially some incorrect information being spread around here as well, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Let me explain. So as part of the Funimation shutdown, they sent an email out to Funimation customers, telling them that in January 2025, the price will increase from $54.95 a year to $99.99 a year, according to Gizmodo. Now, that's being talked about as Crunchyroll doubling their subscription price now that they have taken out their competition. Except, like everything else in the story, that's not really what's happening at all. Right now, a membership on Crunchyroll costs either $7.99 or $9.99 a month depending on your tier, meaning there's a yearly cost of either $96 or $120, both of which are more than the price from that email, which states that the price increase is going to happen in 2025. So what I think is happening is that the Funimation subscription costs $54.95 a year, but with Funimation going away, if you migrate your account, you get to keep that $54.95 price until January 2025, even though you're now streaming on Crunchyroll instead of Funimation. In January 2025, they will start charging you the full price of a yearly Crunchyroll subscription, which actually actually makes it sound like you are getting a deal rather than being screwed over, since Crunchyroll is a service that has more series on it than Funimation did, and you're getting a subscription to Crunchyroll at the same price you got it at Funimation for the first year. At least if I'm understanding it correctly. That's a far cry from the outrage bait, "Crunchyroll is doubling the price in a monopolistic move" statement that I've seen people making. Honestly, looking into this, I was expecting to find all the stuff people have been talking about to be true, but literally in my first Google search results, I found that at best, all of this has been misunderstood and blown way out of proportion, and at worst, well, honestly, it kind of looks like no one bothered to do literally a minute of searching about what they were going to make a video on before they decided to do it. I'm not usually the guy who's standing up for corporations, but in this instance, I honestly think that people are just lying, either out of ignorance or just plain old malice. It's weird. Anyway, you can always trust the MattyO channel to put in at least the bare minimum effort before recording a video on a topic, unlike those other outrage baiters. Also, I assume you've watched this far because you use Crunchyroll or Funimation. If so, could you recommend me some good series to watch? I'm not a super massive anime fan, but I'd love to have some more good stuff to watch. Drop your recommendations in the comments. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. This was kind of a weird video for me to make. I'm not sure how so much incorrect information started to spread about this, and I honestly don't know why no one else looked into it. But anyway, have a great day, and God bless you.